In this video, I'll talk about all the things you should know and pay attention to before you actually get yourself a secured credit card. Now, very quickly, I'll tell you what a secured credit card is if you don't already know. So the secured credit card is just a regular credit card, with the main difference being that you need to have a security deposit to be able to have the card. Now, a normal unsecured credit card doesn't require a deposit. You can call your bank or apply online and they'll approve you and give you a credit limit, and that will be that. If you aren't able to get a regular unsecured credit card for any reason, then your next best option is to put some cash down as a security deposit and then get that cash in the form of credit on the secured credit card. So that's the main difference between a secured and an unsecured credit card. So ideally, if you have your credit in good standing, then you should be able to apply and be approved for a regular unsecured credit card with a high limit. And if you don't have so much of good credit, then a secured credit card may be a better option. And in my last video, my last video on secured credit cards, I talked about seeing the secured credit card as a tool instead of looking at it as just another credit card. It's a tool to help you rebuild your credit. Now, let's talk about a couple of things that you need to be aware of before you get yourself a secured credit card. And right before that, just a very quick reminder here. If you're new to the channel or you're watching one of my videos for the very first time, my name is Ian, and I post videos here on YouTube every single day on topics relating to making money and personal finance. So if you'd like to see more of these videos, then give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing to this channel and turning on all the notifications. And that way you'll be able to get the updates every single day when I post a new video here. Also, comment down below and let me know this. Have you ever had a secured credit card before? Or are you thinking about getting one? And tell me why you had one or why you're currently thinking about getting a secured credit card. So let's get back to things you should know before you apply for a secured credit card. And by the way, guys, the main point of this video isn't to tell you what the secured credit card is, because I've already done videos explaining that, but instead I want you to, at the end of this video, have a better understanding of what you're signing up for, which in turn helps you to understand if a secured credit card is really what you should be getting. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that you're always going to be approved for a secured credit card, or actually I should say almost always going to be approved. There is that very rare instance where you may be denied because you aren't in the check systems, or maybe you're new to credit and you've never opened a bank account before, and when they actually take your information and they try to confirm your identity, it will tell them that you don't exist. Now, this has happened to me before, and I've even been denied opening bank accounts before, but that's for another video. So 99% of the time, I would say that if you apply for a secured credit card, you will be approved for it. And the main reason is because the bank really doesn't take any risk with secured credit cards. You'll need to make a deposit, and that deposit will determine your credit limit. So if you make a deposit of $1,000, then they're going to give you a secured credit card with $1,000 on it. So there's no way that you could run the card up to the limit and then not pay them back. If you try to do that, then they can just close the account and take your deposit. So if you're thinking about getting a secured credit card and you have bad credit or something else is happening with you and you think that you won't be approved, I would say still apply, because as long as you have a deposit, you'll be approved for that card regardless of your credit score. If not, then comment below and let me know, and I'll try my best to help you. Now, the second concern I've realized that people have is that they, for some reason, think that a secured credit card won't work as well as a regular unsecured credit card. Now, I've had both, and I can tell you, they work just the same. In fact, apart from maybe in your online account where you can see the name of your credit card, where maybe it says Discover Secured, for example, that won't show up anywhere else. If you make a purchase, it doesn't say Secured Credit Card. It just says Visa Credit Card or Discover Credit Card. Also, the secured credit card can be used anywhere without any limitations, apart from the credit limit on the card, of course. But there's nothing different about a secured and an unsecured credit card here. Even when you have the actual secured credit card in hand, they don't have secured printed on them. It just says credit. The same goes for building your credit. An unsecured credit card and a secured credit card will improve your credit in the same way. The only difference is the credit limits and the utilization ratios. Now, as you may know, the secured credit card requires a deposit and the unsecured credit card doesn't. So usually secured credit cards won't allow you to deposit more than $3,000, and that means you'll get a credit limit of $3,000 or maybe less. Now, with an unsecured credit card, you can get a limit of 10 times that. This brings us to utilization. So both credit cards will work the same, but the more you spend from a credit card, the more your credit suffers. You want to ideally have a utilization ratio, or simply just keep your spending below 30% off your credit limit. So if you have a secured credit card and you made a $3,000 deposit, then if you use $300 every month, you would be using well below 30%. Your credit score would improve very quickly. If you had a secured credit card with a $500 limit and you use $300 every month, then you would be using over 50% of your credit, so your credit score wouldn't improve as quickly. Now, the pro of having an unsecured credit card comes in here because you can get higher limits. If you spend $2,000 on a secured credit card per month, then that negatively affects your credit score because you would be going close to the card's limit. If you have an unsecured credit card, you can get a limit of 10, 20, 30,000, and this way, even if you spend $5,000 every month, you will still be using less than 30% off your credit line. Also, if you have an unsecured credit card, you can request a higher limit and you can be approved, which helps you to improve your credit score, but a secured credit card will require a deposit to get a higher credit line, and most secured credit cards won't allow you to deposit more than $3,000 anyway. Now, to fix this issue, you can get a secured credit card that eventually graduates to an unsecured credit card, and I'll leave a link to the Discover It Secured below, as that's my personal favorite pick. This is a very, very important consideration to make because let's say you get a secured credit card and you are responsible and you pay your bills on time and you get to build a very good credit score. If you then want to have an unsecured credit card and get your deposit back and also have access to a higher credit line, then some banks will actually tell you to close your secured credit card account before they can refund you or give you that deposit back, and you'll then need to apply for a regular unsecured credit card, which means that's going to be another hard pull on your credit. This also decreases the overall age of your credit history, which further lowers your score. So before you applied for any secure credit cards, think about what you'll want to do once you get your credit to a good enough credit score. Will you want your deposit back? Will you want a higher credit line? Will you be okay with another hard pull on your credit? I thought about all these things, and this is why when I was new to credit, I chose to Discover It Secured, because that way credit limit increases and getting upgraded to a regular unsecured credit card wouldn't require additional hard pulls, and I would also be able to get my money back. So think about this one a lot before you actually make your decision. Now, another important thing to note here is that even though a secured credit card is 99% or most times guaranteed to approve you, and even though you will be making a deposit to get the card, they're still going to do a hard pull on your credit. Now, I didn't really like that because they have a deposit, right? I think a soft pull would be better since most people who actually try to get secured credit cards already have poor credit, and that hard pull will ding your score by a couple points. If you applied for, let's say, a regular credit card and you were denied and you use the same bank and you apply for their secured credit card, then if it's in the same week or sometimes a couple of days after, then they won't do a second hard pull on your credit. If you wait a month or a couple of months though, then they will do another hard pull. So if you're thinking about getting a regular unsecured credit card and then thinking about getting a secured credit card just in case you aren't approved for the regular credit card, then I would say save that deposit and have it ready. So in case your bank or credit card company or credit union denies you, then you can apply or reapply for a secured credit card instead. And this way they won't need to pull your credit a second time and ding your credit score again. Now, to be 100% sure, you can actually ask all these questions before you apply with any bank or credit card company. I remember trying to get a secured credit card and a secured loan for building my credit from a credit union and also a checking account, and luckily I asked and I was told that they would do 3 pulls on my credit. That helped me to avoid those multiple pulls on my credit because I did not want that. So you also want to ask questions before you apply, and if you're not comfortable, be sure to explore your options and ensure that you're getting the best value for your business as you can possibly get. Now, finally, even though you have a secured credit card and you have made your security deposit, that doesn't mean that you can be late on your payments or just not pay your credit card bills at all. It will report on your credit just as how it would in the case of an unsecured credit card. So you want to pay your bills on time, and if you know that your bill is due on the 25th, for example, then just pay it 3 days before, and that way you're sure that the payment actually gets posted to the account in time so it doesn't show up as late on your credit report. Also, if you already have a regular unsecured credit card, then in my opinion, it really doesn't make any sense in you getting a secured credit card. You're just going to tie some money up in a security deposit. Instead, use your regular credit card properly, use less than 30% of your limit, pay your bills on time, and that in itself should be enough to increase your credit score. So these are a couple important things that I think anyone thinking about getting a secured credit card should really know and also consider before actually applying for one. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification icon so you can get notified when I post new videos here. Give this video a thumbs up, I'll really appreciate it. Check all the links down below in the description, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.